person I left out, now, I guess, was of course Dr. Wicker. And again, before I get to him with that final doctor, Dr. McCarthy, when I went to his office recently and I was bringing up the topic, he actually left the room and got one of his employees to come and discuss the issue with me. Now, I guess he's trying to pull a trick. So he's using, he wants to get some bad information out to me, and he wants to use his employee. And he seems to think that if his employee does it, no one can say, he would not be held responsible. That's just not the case. When you practice medicine and, your employees, whatever they say or they do, which has to do with the practice of medicine. See, otherwise they would be practicing without a license. So the doctor is actually responsible. So the employees who are not even like nurses or any kind of license kind of thing, they can actually practice a good deal of medicine, but they have to be working under the doctor, and the doctor is responsible. They can only do the functions of practicing medicine under the license of a doctor. So if this person was doing something without the doctor's approval, then she was certainly practicing without a license. But here's the tape. It goes right to so the doctor, so when I brought that up, that person actually came in and told me it's normal for people to be made unconscious, which is incredible. She said it's normal for people to be made unconscious when they go for an MRI procedure. And she also said that it's normal for them to be made unconscious by injecting an artery and flushing water through their brain, as opposed to having a anesthesiologist giving anesthesia. Now, there's no such thing as being unconscious for an MRI. An MRI, you just pop into the MRI place, you take your MRI test. If there's a little injection which adds some contrast to the test, you take that little injection, you're done, and you leave, right? It's a simple in and out kind of stuff, just like going for a blood test in the morning. There's nothing to it. And it has nothing to do with anything about being unconscious. So when I was at the doctor's office, I didn't have any kind of recording device. So I tried to continue the conversation over at home once I got my recorder going. And incredibly, she finally kind of admitted, well, she did end up admitting that she did make the same outlandish claims that you have, that there is such a thing as being made unconscious during an MRI procedure. So you can just hear that phone call, and that phone call is about 9 minutes, and that's going to be the next tape. And the tape that follows it, the final tape, is going to be about Dr. Wicker. And I am going to single Dr. Wicker out because I haven't sued him, but at the same time, he's not one of these piss-ass doctors. But and you can, and I was actually able to record him inside the office itself and show you exactly what he did. So I'll show you exactly what Dr. Wicker did and how he was concealing the sexual assault, and how he was concealing all my injuries and what he is doing. So let me just play first that tape from this doctor's office, and you can, and what happens is every time she gets a tough question, she hangs up. So like I had to make 3 calls altogether, and finally what she does is I knew that she picked up the phone again, so I asked for the office manager, and the office manager's name is Hannah, and And I do have some recording with Hannah's voice on the phone from earlier on some other YouTube channels. But Hannah has a very strong African accent, and this employee is, I'm guessing she's Mexican. So, and a clear giveaway is that, she actually speaks with a very normal accent. I mean, very normal American accent, and no one can tell she has an accent except when she gets to the word busy, and then she says the word busy, and that's very common. A lot of Mexicans, they pronounce the word busy as busy, as in Beezee. So anyway, but she's pretending to be Hannah, who's African, and you can hear very clearly when I ask for the practice manager. You can actually first say she's busy, and then she immediately switches off and she goes, yes, this is her. So she's actually pretending to be somebody else. I mean, so that's an incredible amount of lies. So she pretends to be somebody else, and then she claims to be the office manager. And to kind of go along with it, at the end I even said, oh, thank you very much, Hannah. And she goes, you're very welcome, sir. But anyway, so at the end, now although at the office she said for all MRI tests you have to do, you have to become unconscious that way. At least after the first, I think I have like 9 minutes altogether, and about the 6th minute you can start hearing it when more or less she again makes that claim that at least she's backing off that for all MRIs you have to become unconscious. Now, and so she ends up with the claim that if you take an MRI at a radiology facility, you have to become unconscious, which is actually the only place you can take an MRI. It's only at a radiology facility. But if you go to and so that's another lie she was trying to sell. She was trying to tell me that if I go to a cardiology office, they can do the MRI test, and they can do the MRI test without being unconscious. Now, of course, there's no such thing as an MRI taken at a cardiology office. I mean, I guess some cardiology offices may have just something for the heart. It's possible. But usually the MRI tests are at a radiology or an MRI facility. And of course, for an MRI, you never have to become unconscious. There's no such thing. But so she tells a lie. So at least I got her to say that again, that you have to become unconscious. So they're telling me that I have to become unconscious, and then you can see what Dr. Wicker does. So it's not so you can obviously see it's the lies, and the lies are not even consistent. So that office picked up the lie that, oh yeah, you are supposed to become unconscious. And then you can see what Dr. Wicker does. So let me just play her tape first for 9 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead with Dr. Wicker.